right, y'all, so we're on page 26, and we're talking about parallel and perpendicular lines. Okay, what does the word parallel mean? What does that mean?
The same.
It was going like this. Parallel means when they're like, go like this, like train tracks, like on and on and on and on, they never intersect, okay? All right, if you're making a note card, which I would highly recommend, okay, for the next test, if you have one of those going, you can write this later if you don't have it in your note card right now, but on your note card, I would write parallel lines. By the way, those two little double L looking things is the word, that's the symbol for the word parallel, okay? Parallel lines have the same slope. And that's important, make sure you write that down. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines, all right, look, I'm just gonna do a symbol for the word perpendicular. It's an upside down T. Did y'all know that was a symbol for perpendicular?
No, ma'am.
Perpendicular lines, what do you know about perpendicular? What does that mean?
They intersect.
They do intersect. Specifically, how do they intersect? Do y'all know? They intersect at a 90-degree angle. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to write that down, but just remember perpendicular lines, that not only do they intersect at a 90-degree angle. But the thing I want you to know about them is their slope, okay? Perpendicular lines, their slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. Write that down, and then I'll explain what that means. Their slopes are negative, I'm just going to put neg, reciprocals, big word, of each other. Okay, for example, okay, if you have a line with a slope of 2/3, okay, a slope perpendicular to that would be -3/2. That's probably the best way to explain it, is just to show an example. Does that make sense? You see how it's just one of them's completely flipped over, and one of them's positive and one of them's negative. Okay, another example, so you could just write like example by that. Another example of perpendicular slopes would be, I don't know, let's just say like -2 and +1/2. Do you see how if you flip 2, it's, because 2 is really 2/1. So if you flip it, it's 1/2. Does that make sense? Those are right. So those are perpendicular slopes. Okay, so that's what parallel and perpendicular means. All right, so on page 26 in your packet, if you're looking at number 1, the graph, it says write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through the given point and is parallel to the graph of each equation. All right, if you'll notice on number 1, they give you a line. It's y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, what's the slope of that line that they gave you? Can you tell by looking at it? It's 2, right? How did I know that? How did I know it was 2? Because the 2 is in front of the x, right? So, does everybody have this? Before I can just scoot it up in case I need to go back. But yeah, they gave you on number 1, they gave you y equals 2x plus 1. That's, or was it -1? Now I don't remember. It was -1. But you don't, that part doesn't really matter anyway. The only thing we're concerned about is the 2. Okay, that's in y equals mx plus b. So whatever's in front of the x is the slope. So the slope of that line is 2. So that's the slope that we're going to use. And it passes through the ordered pair -2, -3. All right, so this is what we're going to do, okay? We're going to label our ordered pair. That's my x1, y1. This ordered pair right here.
Question, where'd you get -3 from?
It's the ordered pair. It's on the graph. You see it? Okay. All right, so we're going to use our point slope formula. All right, so our point slope formula is y minus y1, mx minus x1. That's our formula. All right, so we're going to fill in. All right, here we go.
Plus 3.
All right, y minus -3
Plus 3.
would be plus 3. Good. Equals our slope, which is 2. Okay. X minus -2. That ends up being plus 2. Good. This is just like what we did last week. Nothing new. Distribute our 2. You get 2x plus 4. Okay. Subtract 3. And you get y equals 2x plus 1. And it asks for slope-intercept form. That's what we got. So we're good to go.
2 out of 4.
Okay, Mike, you can stop on that, that'll be good enough for that one, so it's not so long.
He's done better.